Welcome to our podcast. This is Engineering Connections. Let's talk some engineering. Introductions here are DIY. So, mine is Kenneth. I'm your host, and as usual,
Catherine, your co-host.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah. Give us some more on that name.
I'm Sarah, an interior designer with Runji Spaces. I'm a creative designer with Posh Creations Limited.
That's a good one. Runji Spaces, welcome to our space.
Thank you.
First off, what do you think of the place? In your opinion?
In my honest opinion, it could use a little bit of work. I'm being honest.
That's honest. That's good honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did it ourselves, so I think
Not bad, but it could use a bit of work.
as engineers, I think that's the best we could do. No?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay, let's move in. So interior design. What people keep thinking, is it worth it? Is it worth the money?
Ideally, yes, it is worth the money. Let me put it this way. You go buy furniture or rent a house, build a house, buy furniture, buy different things, speakers, TV, all these things.
Yes.
You're doing your interior, right?
Yes.
1 day, 2 days, it's nice. You have all the new equipment. What gets you through to the 5th year in the same house? It's the design.
And the environment, basically.
Yes. So basically what we're trying to do is, can you last long with the excitement? Does everything fit, or will you want to change the table 2 days after? Because now it doesn't match the chair.
Still on that point. As Ugandans, we do apartment living. It's usually the vast types of residency are temporal. So why I asked, is it worth it? Is it maybe like sort of fine wine for the rich people, if I'm so to speak?
I don't want to think it's for the rich people. Why? Because we have a budget. Everything can be done on a budget, right?
Yes.
So just like the engineers do on a budget sometimes. Of course, the budget will dictate what comes and what doesn't. Which chair do I buy? Which one can I afford? So while it seems like the very nice things are for rich people, those exact nice things can be done on a budget for the people that are willing to take the chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, because I think for interior design, everyone has a concept to it, or everyone has a mindset to it. So if I look up things like maybe on Pinterest, and maybe a living room wall has some detail to it, could be like palettes that have been nicely done, and then there's some light at the back of it. It looks beautiful. But then in my mind as an engineer, it's something maybe I can think of and try to create it. But if you're going to try to sell this idea to someone, the first thing that comes into anyone's mind is the budget.
The budget.
My
And
God.
also to add,
Cost.
so to speak, sometimes some things are redundant, right? Like, for example, it's just looking good. Understand?
Yes.
And what? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But sometimes functionality with interior design, especially for people who are, how can I say, I don't want to say tight on a budget, but I would want to say maybe people who are, in Uganda they say okwekengera, you understand, that sort of thing. Like, you're always cautious about what you're spending your money on. Like, for example, you spoke about chairs a bit. Right now there are chairs out there, they're not made for certain spaces,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But you find yourself that is what you can afford and that is what is coming into your house. So you're going to find that we do post planning for that design. Actually, you just patch up things here and there, and I don't know, sometimes it works. So given that kind of attitudes of people, which is moving on to the point I wanted, at what point, if all goes well, does interior design come in? Is it at the inception stage with the engineers planning, with the architects, or maybe along the way, whichever? Because sometimes to make a design functional, I don't know if I'm getting my point. To make it function, sometimes you might have to get involved in the planning phase.
Okay, so interior design. Most of us confuse interior design and decorating.
That's true.
The design itself needs to start at architecture level. When you're doing your plans, what do you want your inside to look like? Because the design is going to involve, it could involve moving elements like walls. If you're going to wire some things, you're going to tell the architecture, we want the TV to be here. So we want the wiring to go this way. The engineer needs to know that around this, we don't see any wires. So they are going to put the ducts within the wall before you bring in your furniture and everything. So ideally, it's best at architectural level, at that point, at the planning level. However, there are people who have already built and then they realize, oh my God, I need my place to look nice.
Yeah.
So at that point, you do a bit of designing, but you're limited to work within what is already built up.
Okay.
When it comes to the budget for those, it depends on how much you want to do. Because you'll agree, as engineers, there are walls that you can break down.
Yeah.
There is a column that will be in the middle of the room, and you know that if you take this down, you are going to have to bring the whole house down.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's to the extent. When it comes to apartment living, we are renting, and we are constrained by our landlords. You know, all those contracts we sign. Don't break this. Don't put holes. Don't do that. Now that's where we come in with the basic, what I would feel is more basic for interior designing. One, we need to get the function of the space. What is this space going to do? Is it a living room? Is it an office? It could be built for a living room, but you choose to make it an office.
Can it be both?
Yes, because function is not limited to living room, dining. It's more of
the function of that space.
What am I going to use this space for? So that's why we have things like dining and kitchen together, living room and office space together. I have a family room that has sometimes used for watching, sometimes used for maybe reading, other times for playing. So depending on the function of the space, that's the first thing we want to get. Secondly, what do you want it to feel like? What mood do you want? How do you want to feel when you're in your living room? That's the sustaining bit of it. If for the first time we just grab chairs and put things, then the next day you're thinking, but I am not there. So we want to understand you. Kathy, what do you like to do? What comes into your mind when you're fresh, is it watching TV? Is it reading books? So a few of those elements we put in the design, because when you're stressed and you can easily see a bookshelf, you're going to grab that book, read it, and so that's how we come up with the basic things. Yes.
Is this how people increase their life expectancy?
Because I think so. Because comfort really is, I believe at the end of the day, we all work. Whoever wakes up in the morning at 5, at 4, at 7, for comfort.
Yes.
In whatever form. You have a good job, your kids are going to the best schools. At the end of the day, it's comfort. So yes, I totally believe sometimes when there's a concept, comfort comes at a cost.
Actually, that's what people forget.
It really does come at a cost. In whatever form, it comes at a cost.
And still, maybe let's also tag this to sort of work, because you realize maybe there's some sort of like also attitude towards these things that seem redundant but are actually very, because like you said, you want to enter your house and it has a certain mood to it,
A
You
feel
understand?
to it.
Because there are some, you go to someone's place, and first of all, like usually I said, I like functionality towards certain things, but then I also like, those houses we used to go through, like in Naguru, a person has like I don't know, like a plant in the house, and there's like some sort of fresh air. You enter and you like, why do I live where I live?
Yeah. Okay. Or even any service area. I've gone to, which place is that? Rocket Health, the main office. It's somewhere in Nakasero. You see, when you walk into a hospital, a normal hospital, it's scary. I won't lie to you. It's scary. You walk into it. Yeah. Come in with a headache, just at that point you feel like you have fever, you have every other thing with you. It's a setting. It's crowded, and there's so many, you literally next to sick people. It's you walk into Rocket Health and it's coming. For a minute, if you come in sick, you think your disease is gone, but it's there. It's coming. Like you see, like the chairs, everything around it, the lighting. It's very calming. They have like, I don't know, it's like water things, and they have plants. You feel.
I want to think it was Rundy Spaces that did that.
I think so.
That's very flattering.
Right?
But yeah, now back to what I wanted to say. When we're doing this, like let's say BOQs, right? You realize that most of the cost that is going towards like a structure is in its shell. It's putting it up, right? The foundations, the what. So you're going to find that people use that as an indicator of the budget of the structure. However, if you really want to, if you're to go into the nitty-gritties, it's the finished works that really take up most of that. So I think also with some sort of I don't know, maybe Runji Spaces can help educate the masses.
I know.
Right? But if people do not know that if you put up the shell, you're not done yet. You're not even halfway done. Because
For normal building, like cost-wise, because we've seen this with the clients we've worked with. Yeah, you drop a budget, and then let me say 40% is just a structure. It's just civil works. I'll put it as a civil works. But anything that starts with finish works, be it even plastering, tiling, painting, all these decorative things, that bill will go, that's like 60% of the total bill.
Yes.
And this is very hard sometimes to explain to a client. They don't believe you.
And
You're going to come off as a thief or someone who's...
the funny bit is...
That's what it is.
The funny bit is, that is when people start that giving up thing. It's towards the finish line. It's like, you know what? Just give me one coat of paint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, just if there's one example, of course, no names mentioned. I wanted your worst experience with a client and your best experience and how the process was. Because also for the benefit of our listeners, we wanted to know if someone needs your services, where do they reach you? How do they go about it? And how do you work together? Is there a contract?
Like your process.
What's the process?
Yeah. Okay, so let me start with the first questions of the experience.
Yes.
Worst experience is a client who didn't understand the concept of time. Why am I saying the concept of time? As an engineer, if you're laying a slab, you know that you need time for it to cure.
Yes.
As a designer, if I'm going to break a wall, I need time for it to be plastered, dried, before I can paint. Yes. However, some clients, I think, expect that The day you remove the plaster, you also paint and finish everything.
And you go. I want
And
my
you go
space.
and
We've been there. We've been there.
yes. So there's that concept where we have, like I said before, we mistake decorating for designing. So when you tell them, I'm an interior designer, I can change this wall, I can change this, immediately they think you can come in today, remove this table, put another one, and you're done, which is wrong. So the worst experience has been someone giving you very, very limited time to do a huge piece of work. Also, the part where they want to reduce the budget, but they want you to do everything that you have planned for.
So basically,
means-
also add some money for us.
Invest in their project, right? So it gives you, it leaves you in a space where you have to compromise on quality. That is not a very good experience because, I mean, we all
It's
know.
your work, and
yes.
it speaks to you. Even if
True.
when you're gone, still, even if you help them cut the budget, and bear, this is where we.
They will say those guys are the ones who
Yeah,
did my
who
work.
did.
Exactly.
And people will be thinking, what did you do here exactly? Yet they cut corners. Best experience.
I don't want to preempt, but I think it was with us.
Yeah. You can tell the viewers. It's experience.
Yes, but the best experience is a client who pays for the service, give you a
And in
budget,
time,
pay for
beforehand.
the service, yes, beforehand, gives you time to finish the work, and trusts you to actually do the work to end. The client that also encourages you to think outside the box. They're not putting you on pressure. They're giving you time to think. Let's be very realistic. Any work that I know that involves designing or creating things, you need space to think.
Yeah.
You need space to think outside the box. How does this wall go up without, all these things? Ideally, if someone actually gave you time, you would be able to cut down costs better than if it is on pressure. So, also, the part where someone values your work and understands that you are creating something for them. I think sometimes clients forget that you are creating it for them. They think you're creating it for yourself. It's them who are going to live in the space. They are the ones who need to be happy.
Yeah.
So why not start being happy at the beginning? Pay the money and relax, Don't panic while the project is going up. So that when you come in, you are already relaxed. So what do we do at Ringy Spaces when someone wants a design? One, we have two major parts of this work. We have the designing, the concept development, then we have the implementation.
Okay.
We give you an option. We can design for you and you look for people to implement, or we can go ahead and implement, which is the best option, of course. So concept development, we prefer to visit your site,
Okay.
look at the nitty-gritties.
At my cost.
Pictures. Yes. Pictures lie.
All right.
Pictures lie because when I take a picture, we have nice cameras these days. I don't know if they also sand the walls sometimes, but you reach a wall and it is bursting. Water.
And it needs some
You
more.
need to look at all those little tiny details. So yes, we prefer to do site visit first.
Okay.
After the site, we take our measurements. If you have drawings that if you have not yet built and finished, probably at the architecture has given you all the details, then we look at those and work with those.
Okay.
After that, taking measurements, we do the development of all the little things we want to put inside.
That's in the concept.
Yes, so we do layouts, floor layouts, say put a chair here, put a table here, use this room for this. Sometimes people don't even know what they want to use them for. We come up with all that, present it to you with, of course, what are they called? elevation.
Yeah,
So that you have an idea of what it looks like. Now, 3D modeling also comes at an extra cost. The 3D modeling, of course, is the best because it gives you an idea of what the space is going to look like.
Even before
So you can say, I really don't like this color, or I really don't like the shape of these chairs. Yeah. Then we adjust accordingly. When we have finished and you have told us, move this, move that, we give you all your details.
Okay.
This is our proposal. And from that, if you decide I'm ready to implement, we come in, implement to finish.
Okay, so how that's really
Yeah,
elaborate. Yeah, how do you deal with clients who, because we face it as well, who are like back and forth about things, like
They
back
want
and
to
forth.
change.
Oh yeah, okay. You make 3Ds, you make walkthroughs, you make all these, and then they're like, I don't want that put there. Maybe put it here. And then at the end of the day, people don't understand our work. So it's not like you're going to move that pod probably in the 3D and just put it there.
Yes.
They're going to to play the walkthrough again, and it's there.
Yes.
It's like going back to the primary designs and develop it again, render it again. And so how do you deal with the back and forth?
So the main thing we do at the concept development level, when we visit your site, we come with a contract. The contract protects us. So we discuss and say, you see, according to your work, we are going to give you at most 3 presentations. So in those 3 presentations, you're going to change everything.
And the third is the final.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if we are to say, let's wait and see what you come up
If it's
with.
open.
Oh no, it can happen for a whole year. You're doing the same. Come today, you visit the site. No, now. And then you go back and someone has put a wall to a previously done room. But the contract says we have taken these measurements. This is what we're working with, right? So it helps us to protect ourselves, but it also helps us to help our clients who don't know how to make the decisions, to make them stick to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, still for the benefit of our viewers,
Yes.
what do we get for free?
What do you get for free?
For example, for us, someone can call you to site and you take measurements for years. You go, because you're looking for the contract, right? So you go, you take measurements, you give them something. That'd be okay. For free, so to speak. That's consultancy, but it's free work, right? So at Runji Spaces, what do we get for free?
What do you get for free? I want to think that I don't want to say free, you're going to get a free consultation or you're going to get this. However, we have, for example, if you're doing a house and you're doing a full house, you have bedrooms, bathrooms, living rooms. So usually when we're doing like a big project, we'll consider a bathroom with a bedroom.
Okay.
So the bathroom is free and the bedroom.
We'll do a combined package.
Yes, so it will be combined. If you're doing 4 bedrooms, there is probably a corridor somewhere, a foyer somewhere. So those will be free. The hallways, corridors, all those will be free. You won't be paying for them separately, like if it was just a living room.
You're going to gula material.
Yes. So the consultation, the design is free.
Yeah.
However, if we are to implement, we are going to cost them as well.
Okay.
Yes. So the implementation is fully up to you. We give you a full budget, then you decide whether you want to cut out the kitchen or not. Yes.
Okay. So moving on, I wanted to bundle this together to cut some time, but maybe we can just go into them individually. I want to know carbon footprint of interior design. There's a lot of what goes on wood. There's a lot that goes on in interior design, which is do we have to do it? You understand, kind of thing.
Like temporary
right?
walls.
Yeah, like those things. So is there some that is pro like reducing the carbon footprint, or is it all just we do and we just add on what we have? Because remember, with the structure already, with the cements and what you're really through the roof. So for someone who's to save the environment, there are certain things
You consider.
you consider
Yes.
in that aspect.
Well, like I said before, it's best if we start at the planning level, because then we save you a lot of time and wasted spaces and corners you didn't really need in the first place. However, there are quite a number of things on the market that can be used to cut. For example, if you're going to divide a room, you might not have to really build a wall with cement and, you could put a temporary wall. Which, if 5 years later you don't want, you can remove. Say you were building your house and you decided to start with just a floor. You just want an empty room. You come in, divide, put 5 partitions, you have a bedroom, you have this kitchen, and then 2 years later you have more money, probably you extend the wall outside, you remove this, and you still have your huge room. If it is green, there are also ways we can maybe say, instead of doing a full wall, do an empty, more maybe a glass wall to bring in more natural light. If you're going to do now, of course, we are consulting with engineers. Yeah. I don't want to lie that interior designers are like these guys who have everything under control, or they know all the details. No, we consult with the engineers. We are consulting with carpenters. This would it work? We are consulting with these paints. What are the after effects of having them? If I want to do a quick paint job, which ones do I use? If I want to have plants inside, which one won't release maybe toxins for the plants, which plants can live inside the room. We're not going to just come and say, oh, you want something green, let's build
I like cactuses. Those live inside the house, no?
Yes, they do, but they need a lot of natural light. So if your house is 4 walls, it's probably going to die, because it really needs a lot of light. So we're going to advise on those small things according to our consultations. What are we saving you? We're saving you the trouble of buying a plant because it looks nice in a house and it dies, because we have done all the research for you. Am I right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you go to buy the plant by the roadside, these guys are not really going to give you
that information.
They're going to tell you, no, it is 20,000. Even the pot can go with it, because they are doing a quick sale. But we're doing all these details for you, and we're giving you a time frame and say, if your chair breaks within this time, we are going to replace it for free. Because we know that the quality we are giving you shouldn't break within this time. If your plant dries up the next day,
that is on you.
Yeah, we need to fix it. We need to fix it. No, we need to fix it. We need to fix it because we're supposed to give you a plant that doesn't dry the next day. Sure. However, if it dries after a month, did you take care of it as you were supposed to?
That's very true.
So, of course, by learning the client, what does the client like? What is their lifestyle? We know that Ken is not going to do a plant for watering every day because he's probably going to be away. So we want to give him the cactus and put it at the window. And put it at the window so that if he forgets a week,
it's okay.
It's okay, yes.
Okay, this one is, I wanted to know, because as with our startup, and Catherine, we're trying to implement as much of technology into it. So, do you have any tech that you're working on? Maybe let's say how the space is, and I can just send you. You said you don't agree with pictures, but I don't know. Do you really have to always come to site, or are there some steps you're taking for the future of interior design, for example, or VR? I don't know.
So, for example, recently we had a lockdown, so we started doing virtual consultation.
Okay.
Wow.
So we can give you a video call, you show us your space, we advise on this, that, because ideally the truth is the information is in our heads, so we know if it is a living room, you need a conversation area. How do you place that? If we have a sketch of your room, we shall place the items for you and tell you, just follow this. Place this chair here, make this face that way. People don't really believe that, but a lot can change by just the placement of one thing.
Of furniture.
Yeah, versus the other. So there's that. However, we're working on many other ways because it's true, you might not be able to visit all the different places. Oh, my place might be very far and I can't afford to transport you
Yeah.
to my site. So we're working and seeing how do we make a consultation without having to appear.
A virtual consultation.
Yes, because also we subcontract many people. Like I said, we work with engineers, work with architects, we work with all the craftsmen, people, painters, carpenters. So we're trying to get as many as we can out of just our work area. So if you have a project maybe up country, we don't have to carry all the carpenters from Kampala.
So you're able to scale.
Yes, so we're able to do that and say maybe we shall send one person who can oversee the project. That is very important. Why? Because I mean, we are Ugandans here. We know Bafere are everywhere.
Yeah.
Someone can tell you, send your money, everything will be done, and then you wait for the people and they are not showing up.
Sure.
You send
That's
a
very
carpenter and that day he has not had lunch and he just doesn't show up to a client. So it's important for us, of course, as a company, to show up, have a project manager that we know, trust, and is on contract basis, that you need to show up, deal with this client and get things done.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is very...
But they still don't want Snapchat pictures of the walls.
No. But a video wouldn't be Snapchat, would it be?
It will be Snapchat. Have you seen women?
No, live video. So
Let's get back to it. So, I don't know if you need to get into something, because I would like to let Runji Spaces go back to her space.
Okay. What I'd like to ask is, I like the idea of having an open, let me say if it's a structure, just have beams, columns, and slabs. And then at the end of the day, it's just partitioned differently.
Studio setting.
Like studio setting. With the people that you've worked with, the clients, is it something that is being picked on? Or people are still stuck in brick walls? And on top of the brick walls, also you're putting like the temporary walls or the gypsum boards everywhere, and then create some...
We've worked with a client that has just given us columns, and we've actually worked with someone from just architecture plans.
Okay.
Yeah, so it helps us because then we let you know which wall will work. Of course, in consultation with the engineer, we might say put a thin wall when we know it won't hold the structure. Yeah.
And also don't put thin walls at my bedroom.
Okay.
Yes, there's also that. There's also that. So it helps when you are in touch with a client who knows what they want at the end of the day. Of course, it's a bit difficult right now because not very many people own their own buildings.
Yes, definitely.
So when you're already in an apartment, it already has the walls. You can't just break down someone's wall because you feel like now I want an empty space. Yes. However, with the people that are just putting up structures, we share these things and they're a bit more open and willing, because you're going to sit down and tell them, like I told you, if you have an open space, you could partition it now as you, because like you said, most people give up at the last moment.
Yes.
But we are going to encourage you not to give up, because we're going to tell you, okay, fine, move into your space at this stage while you continue to finish. What are you finishing for? You're putting this kind of wall, you're putting this kind of, all those things.
So you're able to save on like a brick wall with the cement and the plastering, and
yes,
if you're able to put like a temporary wall.
Yes. With time, you can remove that temporary wall. Of course, temporary means temporary. You don't want to convince someone to put a wooden wall when they know that any guy can just hit the wall and enter.
I was actually going
Yeah.
to the point, like interior comes in, okay, it's comforting, it's beautiful, but given our society and in terms of security,
There needs to be some sort of mind shift.
yeah, I think so, but I feel like we're stuck in there. We're
I
stuck with,
think-
like, the walls, and then the what do they call them?
That does
The
burglar
doors, the
proof.
burglar proof. Someone puts up something nice, and then there's that burglar proof everywhere. It could have been
Yes.
beautiful just being open. Maybe just slides and closes. But then someone doesn't want to do that because security. Security calls for the whole.
So this is the
Okay.
interesting thing. You can have burglar proof that slides during the day. So there's no burglar during the day. At night when you need to be inside, close everything up,
You bring it back.
curtains down, and you're still in your beautiful space without having to see all the metals
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we have shifted from it has to be a brick wall. We've shifted to different mechanisms for security. It could be at the fence, it could be at the doors themselves, you could have sensors. That's why it's still very important for us to work at the
The
planning
beginning,
stage,
okay.
because then we can tell you, no, you don't really need this. Because the moment your sensors go off, your alarm is going to go off, probably.
Your phone is.
Yes, your phone is
notified.
directed to some other call, and there's all that. And I think as a society, we need to move forward.
We need to.
Yeah,
We
that's
really
true.
need to
That's
move
true.
forward, because we can't stay in the same mindset of my things. Yes, if you're going to make your interior look nice, buy the nice chair without thinking they're going to steal it. Yes,
Yeah.
buy the nice table without thinking, but what if? No, be comfortable. You're not going to live after you have died. You're going to live now. So live fully.
Yeah.
Enjoy the years. Enjoy the spaces. Because if we keep thinking, I will do it 10 years later, my friend, we don't know what 10 years later is going to be like.
But I also believe maybe the interior design, okay, maybe all in our engineering, whatever designs we come with, we need to factor in a sense of security, so that when you're preaching this design to
Definitely,
someone,
definitely,
you're
yeah.
like, okay, this is what's going to happen. We know to put the burglar proof, or we're going to put it and then it just slides into the wall and stays there during the day, and then you can pull it back.
I
Something
can hear
like that.
money.
No, without the whole money thing, but what I want us to be able to reach a point where if someone has a budget to do a normal house, a normal like 2-story building of like brick walls everywhere and plaster and this, then actually can have a high-end modern house within the same budget, within
That's very
the
true.
same budget, but with a high-end model, good feel. Like, it's just beautiful. It's not like normal one color paint here, then it's different setting, but within the same budget, and they still have the sense of security. I feel
It
like
can
things
be
are
done.
beautiful, but people are worried.
So I'm
Temporary wall, someone is just going to pull everything out.
just something about that to our viewers.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the benefit.
Not just for interior designers, for engineers as well.
Yes, as if engineers.
We need to trust the professionals to do the work.
Thank you.
Thank
Someone
you.
has said
And
it in
finally-
the
We
right
really
way.
do. Because oftentimes we feel, I have my piece of land. I can just draw a bedroom can go here and this can go here, and let them just come and build. No. Trust them to do the work. Let them plan for you. Tell them what they're supposed to do. Because these guys have actually spent years in school trying to master how
The
to
art,
create
yeah.
the space for you. So let's trust the professionals. Let's work hard wherever we're working hard. Get
And
the
we
money,
Give them money.
pay for these things, because the
Professional
truth is most of us are looking at all this money, where are you going to put it? No, we are not eating your money.
Waiting some.
We're eating some.
Yes.
all of it.
Not
That
all of it.
money is in your walls, is on your floor, is in
in
your
your
bedroom,
space.
is in your security. It is
In your comfort.
yes, it is doing things for you, and just a little
And
for
instead
us.
of a house being a house, it's a home.
Yes.
Exactly. It's very homely.
Yeah. So, just to wind up, I wanted to give you just a few minutes to tell us what is trending, because anti-Ugandans, we just know. Ekiriko kyetugula. Face bricks were there. What is on now?
Mategula were there, but now we're doing those Mategula roof.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is there? What is trending? What is coming up?
Well.
So at least people are building apartments, don't build us old things. We want mulembe.
Now, I think a lot of natural things have come on. We want to go green. I think that's like the most upcoming thing, or it has been upcoming for a while, but going green has become a thing now. So people want to do solar, they want to do plants, they want to do more light in their houses. We are still scared about people coming in, but we want big windows, we want big spaces. So that's very common these days. So to the landlords, you can build with a little bit more windows, not tiny little small windows, because and also, like I said, we like, especially for us who are doing like apartments, first live here before I build my own space. We prefer the huge spaces that we can plan ourselves than finding an already partitioned house, small bedroom, small bathroom, then huge kitchen. And you're thinking, what am I going to use this kitchen for? Yeah, so I think that's what's coming up. As regards to the decoration, the items themselves, they keep changing. That's true. They keep changing. Also depending on what someone wants. There are different styles. The styles keep intertwining. Like you find you have bohemian with a little bit of this. But at the end of the day, what you like is what is going to trend in your own space.
That is true.
Yeah, it's what is going to trend in your own space. So what you feel is trending for you is what is going to trend in your space. If you feel, there are some of us who are so nostalgic about so many things. So you feel, my house has to look like the other rich guy in the village. So you bring your nice rustic carpets. You want your chairs to be wooden. Then that's what will trend for you.
Okay.
However, it's a space that can change. There's more DIY projects coming up. We are creating things ourselves. We are training people to create things for themselves. Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's brilliant.
Would like to have you again, because I want to ask you about pallets. And what is up with pallets?
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
I think it's a trend.
I
think it's a trend.
We'll have you back, and we'll get into a bit of that as well. To our viewers and listeners, this is the end.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, our guest.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you.